Chris Stegman Coliseum on the University of Georgia campus hasn't seen lines like this outside in a long, long time. The reason the opponent tonight, the Kentucky Wildcats, have already made history. 29 straight to start the season is a Kentucky and SEC record. And tonight, the quest for perfection continues here in Athens, Georgia. Kentucky looking to run, and that is big time. Harrison to Cauley-Stein.
That's impressive.
Oh, how big was that shot for the Cats?
What a great play here by Harrison. Big Blue Nation has to be impressed.
Kentucky history could be made tonight. And this is Super Tuesday, presented by Cree LED Lighting. The lights are out right now. They'll be up high soon. It's the SEC on ESPN. And the matchup, the Bulldogs of Georgia against the #1 team in the country, Kentucky. And there are 5 teams still fighting for the 3 remaining spots to fill out the top 4 and get a double bye in Nashville starting in the SEC tournament a week from tomorrow. Welcome, everybody. Brad Nessler along with Jay Billis. Well, these two teams got together, partner, a month ago, and it was an 11-point win for Kentucky. Both teams were without some of their key players. It's a tall order to beat this team before they try to go to 30-0.
Boy, and tall is the right word. This team is deep. They're very athletic, but they've got great size and tremendous length, and it's made them historically great on the defensive end. They've got their average height is 6'9". Their average wingspan 6'10". They've got 5 guys with a wingspan of 7 foot or better. And when you get near the rim, they absolutely cover it up. They change shots and they block over 7 shots per game. That may open the offensive glass a little bit, but this Kentucky team, Brad, they are historically good defensively, holding teams to 34% from the field.
And that 34% is tops in the country. There's the starting lineups. The Harrison twins in the backcourt. Trey Lyles, Karl Anthony Towns, and Willie Cauley-Stein. 2 of those long guys, 3 of them actually up front that Jay was talking about. For Georgia, Kenny Gaines, Charles Mann in the backcourt. Taylor Eccles starts tonight because it's senior night, and the other 2 seniors are starters. Nemi Jurisic and Marcus Thornton, and the stars are out tonight. Charles Barkley is here. Bill Belichick is here.
Brad Nessler is here.
So is Jay Billis. Let's do this. Georgia looking for a 20-win season. Kentucky trying to stay perfect at 30-0. Pat Adams throws it in the air. We're underway. Jim Burr and Doug Sermons, the other 2 officials.
Size advantage for Lyles.
Yep. Working on the inside, and a nice move, drop step to the baseline, and Kentucky scores first.
That's a play they call 31, where they just isolate the post. Just a little Iverson cut across the elbows, and Trey Lyles went right into the post against Charles Mann, just overpowered him. And how good has Lyles been over his last 2 games?
He's the reigning SEC Freshman of the Week, 18 points in each of those 2 games. You saw that amazing stat. Kentucky has led now for 144 minutes in a row. And there's a foul inside on Cauley-Stein. That goes back to the Tennessee game that we did 3 weeks ago. That's the last time they trailed.
Well, what Georgia, Brad, is going to try to do is spread out Kentucky and try to get the Kentucky big guys guarding out on the perimeter. If they've got to guard ball screens 20 feet from the basket, that may open up the lane for some driving opportunities, especially for a guy like Charles Mann, who loves to get to the free throw line. And if this Georgia team can get to the line, you know, Kentucky can't block their shot at the free throw line. They get there about 25 times a game on the season. If they can get to the line, they're going to have a chance.
Top 2 teams in the conference as far as getting to the free throw line, which is where Marcus Thornton is, and he got 1 of 2. Thornton didn't play the last time around after having suffered a concussion. Georgia actually has 3 players back that didn't play in Lexington in that last game on February 3rd.
In the last game, Andrew Harrison had a terrific contest at Rupp at 23 points, 7 assists in that one.
Here's Aaron Harrison on a runner from the free throw line. Batted around, and one of the starters who doesn't play a lot, the senior Eccles, with a rebound.
If it's long or it's loose, Georgia's got to get it. Anything up near the rim, it's advantage to Kentucky. If it comes down below it, Georgia's got to get every loose ball.
Even without Thornton, Jay, they hammered Kentucky on the boards in that first trip. 3-pointer by Eccles. And it comes back out of bounds to the Dogs.
Well, because Georgia can move this Kentucky team around on the perimeter, Jurisic can play out on the perimeter, Thornton can play out on the perimeter. That means they've got a chance to get a run up for some offensive rebounds. So they're going to have an opportunity to get some second shots.
Jurisic, a good three-point shooter, has 30 on the year. Thornton has to give it back up, and he threw it away. Mark Fox, in his 6th year here in Athens, went over the 100-win mark, 104 now.
Did a remarkable job at Nevada before he came here to Georgia, and about to have his second 20-win season in a row here at Georgia. And that hadn't happened since the 90s, only the second time in Georgia history.
They went 3 straight years under Tubby Smith and Ron Jersa with 20-plus, but that's an amazing stat you and I were talking about. Three-pointer by Gaines, rebounded by Lyles. Here's a lob to Cauley Stein. That was too high, and he couldn't reach it off the backboard.
Well, he didn't get it, but you like to see Andrew Harrison look to pass ahead and look to push it. When he's aggressive in the open floor, he's absolutely at his best. Now, the more possessions Kentucky can get in a game, the better they're going to be.
First time Kentucky has trailed in 145 minutes. And it's Jurisic on the inside.
A nice little flex cut by Jurisic along the baseline.
Andrew Harrison with a hook shot. Got it.
Boy, when he drives, any time that he gets paint under his feet, he's a much better player. You know, John Calipari wants him to get to that SEC logo every time he drives it. A little flex cut and then a post by Thornton. I'm not sure how much George is going to get in the post unless they can face up and drive.
That's what Thornton's thinking about here. Missed the shot, though. Loose ball. Rebounded by Kentucky. Aaron Harrison going up and under. And he scores for the first time tonight.
Boy, when Kentucky gets out and runs, they're so much more effective. They get easy baskets. And over the last 5 games, Brad, they're shooting over 50% from the field. Their offense is starting to match their defense, which is really scary. Mismatching the post now.
Jurisic, baseline, and he's fouled.
Well, Jurisic has got some really nice shot fakes. You know, he got a switch and got Aaron Harrison down to the post, and a really nice shot fake to get him off the floor. And you can see Jurisic right here on the right. As soon as he passes that ball, he's going to come get a little flex cut screen, and he's going to be wide open underneath. Just a miscommunication. Cauley Stein didn't get there, and not enough pressure on the ball to keep it from getting an easy assist.
Jurisic, 3 points early. You know, I think he doesn't get enough credit for how good a player he's been. You and I were talking about this before the game. He's got over 1,000 points. He's got almost 550 rebounds. He's a good outside shooter. And he's gotten better every year. His mom and dad are here from Montenegro. Have never seen him play until Saturday. And now they were here for senior night. Nice touch. Hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to them a little bit later on.
Well, Jurisic, really big factor in this game. And now with J.J. Frazier in the ball game for Georgia, Mark Fox goes to his zone. Frazier's smaller, and he doesn't want to have him posted up.
Andrew Harrison again drives. Rebound comes off to Gino, who got it to Frazier. Gino also in there, having missed several games with a broken wrist. Jurisic tried a three.
Boy, Karl Anthony Towns just went right over the top of Maton. Maton's got to block him out.
And a whistle before the drive is going to be on Kenny Paul Gino. We talked about senior night. Only 3 were introduced before the game. Jurisic among them. They trail by 2.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Cree LED Lighting and in part by Wendy's, proud sponsor of the 2015 John R. Wooden Men's Player of the Year Award, and the Lexus Command Performance Sales Event, now through March 31st. See your Lexus dealer.
Tonight's game is part of ESPN's Journey to the Tourney, presented by Sonic, a season-long spotlight of games that will impact the tournaments. This one will impact everybody. And we saw Charles Barkley earlier and Bill Belichick. Here's a better person to look at, Ashley Judd. Here's another one as well, Shannon Spake.
Well, hi, Brad. Before the game, Coach Calipari admitted that there's no question that his players want to win every game this season. But want is one thing, will is another. Tonight will be a game of wills. In fact, Coach Cal said this is an NCAA tournament-level game, one that will not be over at halftime, and one that he knows his team is going to take some dings in. How they respond and who responds will be the key.
So far, so good in the opening 4.5 minutes for the Cats.
Georgia's matching up in a zone, and they want to make Kentucky take contested twos. And right now, Kentucky 0 of 3 on every 2-point shot that has been contested. They're 3 of 5 on uncontested shots.
That last one by Cauley Stein was, and he missed it. Georgia's got a chance to draw even or take the lead. Jurisic tries to wheel to the baseline. Got his man in the air and drew the foul. Nice job to get Karl Anthony Towns up in the air.
You have got to keep your feet on the floor against Nemi Jurisic. He's got good moves and an excellent shot fake. And he goes multiple shot fakes. And if you leave the floor, he's going to get into your body. All of a sudden, there's going to be 6 free throw attempts early on in this game for Georgia because they're getting Kentucky into the air.
Jurisic at the line. 2 of 3. There's his mom and dad, Snezina and Ranko.
Unmoved by their son's terrific move. Nonplussed.
They're from Podgorica in Montenegro, the capital of that country, and had never been to the United States until Saturday to watch their son play. They watch him on the internet, and they saw some of the games that we've done that ended up airing there. But even better to watch him in person, and he's just tied it up. First tie of the ball game.
With Tyler Ulis in the ball game now for Kentucky, Georgia can go man-to-man, but it looks like they're sticking with that 1-2-2 matchup.
Booker and Dakari Johnson in there as well. So is Marcus Lee. So almost an entirely new lineup for Kentucky as John Calipari's gone to that platoon system a good portion of the year when he hasn't had injury or foul trouble. Ball out of bounds to Georgia.
But Brad, Georgia's done a really nice job of staying in between Kentucky and the basket and making them shoot over. And when Kentucky has had to shoot over a Georgia body, they've missed shots. When they get an angle to the basket, Kentucky has scored at a good clip.
They're 0 for 4 in those contested shots you talked about.
Now, Kentucky can switch absolutely everything. Now Dakari Johnson on man. Anytime that Georgia gets a favorable switch, I think they've got to attack that switch.
Mayton trying to work for position, and he's got the height on Booker. They get it over to Thornton in the corner. Didn't get the roll.
Those are the type of shots, Brad, that have to go down.
Oh, and great defensive play by Frazier, but he stepped on the line right in front of his coach. Nice hustle, though.
Well, he's a terrific young player, just a sophomore. Suffered a concussion. That's why he's wearing that mask to protect his face.
3 concussions this year for Georgia. I don't even know if the football team and Mark Richt had that many this year.
No, it's like a mash unit. They've had to make so many changes. Frazier came in, played the point, then he was out. Charles Mann moved to the 3. Gino goes into the starting lineup. They've had so many different changes, but they've continued to play hard and play together. And I don't know how you feel about it, but I think Georgia's an NCAA tournament team.
I do too. And I've maintained all year that if they are healthy, that they can possibly be the team to beat Kentucky, but we got a long ways to go to find out. There's one of the fine shooters in the conference, a freshman Devin Booker with his first basket.
And he just keeps getting better and better. Over a 40-minute period, he averages 20 points per game per 40 minutes.
Nice cut to the basket and one. Nice pass by Frazier into Mayton, and he's got a chance to give Georgia the lead back.
Well, you called it, Brad. Just a beautiful cut by Mayton, and then a great delivery. The screen and then the roll, and Ulis just about got that. But this is the kind of finish you need against Kentucky. Went right past Aaron Harrison and kept his eyes up. You know, coaches will tell you your eyes make layups. You take your eyes off the rim, and you're going to miss those. But Mayton, who's got terrific hands, he can go over either shoulder in the post. That was a great finish and the kind of play that Georgia needs to get some momentum going.
You saw Mayton's numbers, really some of the best numbers that any Georgia player put up against Kentucky back at Rupp. He's another guy that had a concussion, was hit by a car of all things on an early Sunday morning back in the second week of January, and he's got a 3-point play and Georgia's got a 1-point lead.
Boy, amazing. He was hit by that car. Mark Fox showed us a picture of the car.
Not pretty.
And the dent in the windshield that his head made. It's remarkable that he's back playing.
Booker, runner, fouled from behind, and he'll go to the free throw line.
So that's one thing that Georgia can't do. Booker is a terrific free throw shooter. You got to just make him shoot over. You can't foul a jump shooter, even though he was trying to get to the basket. That was a difficult shot in the short corner along the baseline.
He is the Wildcats' best free throw shooter, 83%.
One of the things that's really impressive about Booker, Brad, 14 points a game, which, you know, for a guy who only plays 20 minutes a game, but 14 points a game in true road games. Just a freshman to be able to go on the road and put up numbers like he's put up. Really impressive.
You saw 5-time SEC Freshman of the Week. 4 of those came in a row, and that's never happened before except Anthony Davis and John Wall, 2 other Kentucky players who were pretty good. Wow, and he missed them both, Jay. We talked it up, and neither one went.
Mann and Gaines have to get going. I don't think Georgia can win unless those 2 guys put some points on the board. And Gaines can get hot in a hurry. He's streaky, but he needs to get hot.
He got a pick from Thornton. He took it all the way to the basket. Got it back and had Willie Cauley-Stein slap it back in his face.
I don't know what he was doing there on that second shot.
And the follow is going to be by Dakari Johnson.
Gaines didn't even leave the floor on that shot that got blocked when he got the ball back. I don't know what he was trying. But
it didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work, and it led to a bucket on the other end.
Wow, Thornton with the left hand. Gives the lead back to the Dogs. 12:35 to go in the half. Cauley-Stein drops one way, comes back with a hook shot. Johnson, second chance, is fouled.
Marcus Thornton, one of the best defenders in the country, with just a little screen, a slow roll to the basket, and uses that left hand to shoot over the top of Dakari Johnson. And after that, I'm not sure exactly what Gaines was trying to do there, but terrific job by Booker pushing the ball up the court. Even though that was a little bit of a weak attempt, it gave the big guys an opportunity for an offensive rebound.
And the big guy that followed that shot is at the free throw line. We check in with Shannon.
Well, chatting with the Georgia players the last few days, Marcus Thornton, J.J. Frazier, they both told me that one thing they learned from the game at Rupp 4 weeks ago is that they cannot let the emotions get the best of them. In fact, Frazier told me the adrenaline in the first half was so much, he played out of character, and the entire team felt it. So they have really tried to treat this game, despite the crowds and all of the excitement, like any other game, so they can control those emotions.
Well, there's a lot of juice in this building. It's not Rupp with almost 24,000, but I haven't seen this place cooking like this in a long time. Kentucky maintains a 1-point lead, courtesy of those free throws by Johnson. Here's Gaines off the window.
A really good offense by Georgia. Little handoff, the ball screen, and allowed Gaines to turn the corner and get to the rim.
There's a rejection by Georgia. That one came from Mayton.
A great job by Frazier to get that loose ball. Those are big.
Gaines waits for help. Georgia was a couple guys short after that pileup defensively on the other end.
Boy, Georgia well prepared to run its offense out on the perimeter. And they're really spreading out Kentucky.
Jurisic gives a shoulder to Booker and scores.
They're getting mismatches and taking advantage of them, Brad. That was a terrific pass. Really nice job by Jurisic to get right into the body of Devin Booker.
Georgia up by 3. We approach 11 minutes. We're on a 9-4 run.
Kentucky's got to go inside. That's where the Wildcats' strength is. And they've got to make Georgia guard in the paint.
Good job defensively here by Georgia. 9 on the shot clock. Jumper, I think somebody got a hand on that one of Tyler Ulis. They're going to say an air ball, though, and Georgia will have the ball when we come back. 10:55, a fired-up Stegman Coliseum as the Bulldogs hoping to stop the streak tonight. Georgia leading by 3 with 10:55 to go in the first half. And let's take a look at how the Dogs are planning for success, brought to you by Northwestern Mutual. Jake.
Well, Mark Fox is trying to spread the floor and pull the big guys away from the basket so they can attack. See, all the big guys are outside of the lane, and a nice little slice cut, and Willie Cauley-Stein goes over the top of it. Jurisic with an easy basket. Then everybody above the free throw line, and a nice little, after setting a ball screen, nice little back cut and roll to the basket by Yante Maton, and a terrific delivery by J.J. Frazier. And on the other end, when Georgia has stayed in front of Kentucky and made them shoot over the top, when they've contested shots, contested twos, Kentucky's 0 of 8. When Kentucky's gotten open looks, they're 5 of 7. So that means Kentucky has got to do a better job of getting the shot they want instead of settling for a contested two.
Shannon was near the Kentucky timeout.
Yeah, guys, Coach Calipari questioning the focus right now on his guys. He also said he wants them to get that ball inside, whether they drive the lane or they make the pass. He said, if you don't, you're coming out.
He said today at the shoot-around, I don't want to fight you, but I will. I want you to go out and play, but I'll fight you. And he does that every game. Gaines missed off the window. And it's going to be Kentucky ball.
Karl Anthony Towns had that rebound, but he didn't snatch it down, and Maton was able to knock it out of his hands. Looked like it went off of Andrew Harrison, but it's Kentucky ball. Those things are only reviewed in the last 2 minutes.
Towns, hook shot's good.
Well, you let him get paint under his feet and get that deep, he's going to score. Karl Anthony Towns has really developed into an outstanding college player that is going to be a top 5 pick whenever he decides to come out.
Euless caused that steal. Oh, I didn't think Cauley-Stein could get that high, but he could.
But Kentucky bringing the heat and trapping Georgia in that coffin corner. That's what Kentucky can do, just explode with that length and athleticism.
Everybody talks about the length of Kentucky. This is some serious length. I thought he threw this one out of the gym, Jay.
Well, Willie Cauley-Stein is a freak athlete, and you can see him getting a little freaky right there. How for shame thinking that he couldn't get up that high, Brad Nessler. That's amazing. Willie Cauley-Stein has had really a phenomenal year.
Is he player of the year in this conference?
Well, I think he is, and he's national defensive player of the year in my judgment without question. And I think he's right up there. I think he's 3rd in the national player of the year voting. I would put Jahlil Okafor of Duke and Frank Kaminsky tied right now for number 1. There's still a long way to go before that's decided.
Here's a runner by Frazier, snatched down by Towns. And Euless cross courts it to Andrew Harrison. He's going to be able to save that. It'll be Georgia ball out of bounds.
See, I don't think that's a bad shot at all by Andrew Harrison, but you would love to see him attack the rim on that reversal.
Saturday showcase presented by 5-Hour Energy. Noon, Big Ten teams take the court. Michigan State and Indiana get together. Then at 4, we'll head to the Big 12, where Kansas and Oklahoma, number 9 and number 15, go at it. Saturday on ESPN, your home court of college hoops. From Athens, Brad Nessler, Jay Billis, Shannon Spake, and a packed house full of a lot of Georgia fans, but there's a lot of Big Blue in here too, and I can't imagine how much they paid for the tickets. Forte has his shot blocked out of bounds by Cauley-Stein.
Really nice recovery by Willie Cauley-Stein to block that shot from behind. You know, Kentucky's getting caught going over the top on those little flex screen slice cuts, and Georgia's taking advantage of it. When you can recover like that to erase a defensive mistake, well, that's tough to play against.
Cauley-Stein, the number 1 active shot blocker in the SEC, had over 200 in his career and over 100 steals, which nobody else at Kentucky's ever done. Charles Mann underneath, and he had one blocked by somebody. Either Lee or Towns, I guess, got that one.
Well, Charles Mann doesn't have to go through 2 7-footers to get to the basket very often. And this is an NBA front line that he's playing against. The length that you have to go. He got past Tyler Eulis. Now he's in among the redwoods. And when Kentucky played Kansas in Indianapolis, Brad, earlier in the year, they were blocking so many shots. I was saying it was like playing frisbee.
Marcus Thornton threw up a prayer as the shot clock expired, and it went in. Booker answers with a 3 on the other end.
Boy, that's the way you answer a prayer.
Wow.
Boy, that sends a message that you can't celebrate. You better get back. I like the way Kentucky's getting the ball up the floor because Georgia's hitting them hard. Georgia's playing well, and Kentucky's starting to respond.
And again, they just take it away underneath.
You got to drive in. If you're going to drive into 3 guys, you got to kick it out. And then that second pass, you're going to get an open shot. Nice pass.
Lyles gave up an open shot and works for that one over Thornton. And then the follow by Lee, who one-hands it and throws it down. Mark Fox has seen enough as his team trails by 3 for only the second time tonight. After they knocked down a 3-pointer by Booker and then that follow shot. So 5 straight gives them the lead.
And Marcus Lee hasn't gotten an offensive rebound that good since last year in the NCAA tournament against Michigan, where he had 7 offensive rebounds. Nobody boxes out Marcus Lee. Just a little bit of help, and you got to drop down, rotate down. And that just absolutely did not happen. Cameron Forte needed to be more physical and get down to that baseline and take Marcus Lee out. Instead, he watched him dunk it.
So we're at the 7:55 mark, and Kentucky, they led 6-3 early. And now a 21-18 lead right here at the 7:55 mark. NBA Wednesday coming up tomorrow night. Starts with NBA Countdown presented by Key at 7:30. And then Dwayne Wade and the Heat taking on the Lakers, followed by Chris Paul and the Clippers against Portland at 10:30 tomorrow night. Speaking of the NBA, special guest joining us, a night off from the NBA, Charles Barkley. What's up, Chuck?
Hey, guys, thanks for having me.
We needed some quality analysis.
No. First of all, hey, Brad, you're great on both football and basketball. That's impressive.
Thanks, man.
Jay, you do a great job also. Way to carry Jay and all those guys.
Last time I saw you was after an Auburn football game.
I know.
That got a little bit late.
Well, you know, we had a little fun.
Frazier airmails a 3, and the outlet. Eulis brings it up. And now wide open look by Lyles. How impressed have you been with Kentucky so far, Charles?
Well, I got to tell you something. I want to see him play in person. I've seen him on tape quite a bit, obviously, getting ready for March Madness, but I want to see him play in person. And I will tell you this. You've got to keep them off the offensive board. That's, to me, the key of the game. If you don't keep them off the offensive board, I don't like their half-court offense unless Booker's in the game, but you got to keep them off the offensive board.
More with Charles and Jay in this ball game when we come back. 7:19 remaining in first half. Cats by 3. Kentucky by 3 with 7:19 remaining in the first half. When Georgia gets a touch in the paint, they've been able to score. But, Charles, they got to get some guard play right now.
Well, the key is going to be guard play because you look at their half-court offense. They're pulling the big guys away from the basket, and that opens up the lane. But if those guys can't finish, they're going to be in trouble.
And they especially can't drive into traffic and expect to shoot over. They're going to have to drive and draw the defense, then kick it out. Oftentimes that second pass is going to be the open shot.
You know, the one thing that Kentucky has unique, Jay, that most people understand, most of the time when you play in an NBA or a college game, you play against 1 7-footer. When you play against 2 7-footers, it really clogs up the lane. So you got to make the mid-range shot. That's going to be the key.
The Portland Trailblazers are the only team in basketball, be it college or pro, that has a taller lineup by average than Kentucky.
And they are a legit contender in the Western Conference.
And they're going to be game 2 of our matchup tomorrow night. Shameless promo, but I just said that a little while ago, so that's all right. Jurisic.
I love that kid.
I do too. He gets more out of his talent than a lot of guys do.
Yes.
Well, he's got skill. He uses a great shot fake, and he can step away and hit a 3. He's also a good cutter.
You know, Jay, the one thing I noticed, like I said, I want to see Kentucky play in person because I've only seen them on television. Other than Towns, they don't have any guys who can really score in the low post if they don't get offensive rebounds. See that? That's a perfect example right there. He got a shot, but it wasn't a good shot.
And anytime you can stay between their big guys in the basket and make them shoot over, you got a pretty good opportunity. You just can't let them get a deep post where they've got 2 feet in the paint and they can bury you.
Gaines will try 3.
Those are shots that Kenny Gaines has got to hit. He went 2 of 13 at Rupp.
Booker up and under. And that one came out. Juris hits the rebound. Georgia a chance to lead again this trip.
Charles, how'd you do in this building when you played at Auburn?
Well, they had Dominique Wilkins, so it didn't go well for me. They had James Banks. They had a really good team. I think one of the years they made it to the Final Four. You know, they had like, I forget Stephon Marbury's brother's name, but they just threw the ball on the rim and had like 5 guys trying to dunk the offensive rebound. They had Vern Fleming.
Eric Marbury.
Yeah, Eric Marbury. They had James, excuse me, I forget.
They have Terry Fair?
They had Terry Fair. They had Vern Fleming. They had Dominique. They had a really good team. Coach Durham did a fantastic job with them also. But they just threw the ball on the rim and just dunked it.
Dominique probably would have been here tonight, but he's doing TV or radio.
No, actually, Dominique Wilkins excited. He's getting a statue in Atlanta.
Oh, I know.
He got a big deal tonight, but they're going to unveil a statue for him Thursday for the Hawks. It's really cool. I'm really excited for that. I can't wait to get there.
I am too. He was not voted one of the top 50 NBA players when you were, and I think everybody still thinks that was not right. I mean, he's still 12th in scoring all time or whatever it was. Didn't you guys go in the Hall of Fame together?
It was one of the cool things to me because I was one of the guys complaining he didn't go in the Hall of Fame the first year he was eligible. But I tell you what, I just want to take my hat off. First of all, I'm here with Danny Ferry tonight. And let me tell you something. Danny Ferry has done a great job with the Hawks, and I hope they give him his job back. He's a friend of mine. He made a mistake, but I hope they give him his job back. But I'm really excited for I want to give my shout out to the Hawks. They're unveiling the Dominique Wilkins statue Thursday. I can't wait to get there.
And the Hawks have the best record right now in the East, playing great team basketball. They're fun to watch, aren't they?
They are amazing to watch. They had 4 All-Stars. Obviously, Coach Budenholzer is obviously the favorite for the Coach of the Year. But like I say, I'm here with Danny Ferry. I just want to give him a shout out because I think he deserves the Executive of the Year also.
Great inbounds play during the timeout, and Georgia is back in front by 1.
And Georgia going back to the zone. And Kentucky's going to have to get some movement. It's been 1 pass and a shot.
And there's a nice drop step by Towns. Didn't get it, but he'll go to the free throw line.
You know, Jay, first of all, you do a fantastic job. I'm not kissing up to you. I watch a lot. Name me the teams that actually have a legitimate shot of beating Kentucky. I think there's only 4 or 5. What's your short list?
I think Wisconsin can do it, but they've got to control the tempo. It's a really good defensive rebounding team. They don't turn it over, and they can control the tempo of the game. I think Virginia's got an opportunity to do it. I think Duke can, but it's going to be difficult because Kentucky's guards are so much bigger, and Duke doesn't have a ton of depth. Gonzaga can, but I wouldn't favor them. I think Kentucky's going to have to help a little bit whoever they play. They're against ranked teams, Charles, their average margin of victory is 17. When they're engaged and they really want to play, they're really hard to beat.
Right now they're helping Georgia. 2 missed free throws by Towns, and Georgia still has the lead near the 5-minute mark. Jurisic rimmed out a 3.
You know, I tell people the biggest advantage Kentucky got is that guy on the sideline. I think John Calipari does not get enough credit or respect for what he's accomplished. I just love the way the guy coaches because he changes all the time.
Here's Ulis for a triple. And that one comes out. And I think there's going to be a foul on Lyles trying to get that rebound.
Well, Ulis doesn't miss many of those. He's a good open 3-point shooter. And that was as wide open as you're going to get if he keeps getting those shots. You know, Georgia's playing really well, and they're up 1. I mean, Kentucky, they can explode on you.
The second time J.J. Frazier stepped out in the same exact spot. Mark Fox saying he was forced out, but that was the same spot when he played the passing lane on defense and tried to get a steal earlier. So second time he's turned it over literally within a couple of feet of his head coach.
Boy, there wasn't a ton of pressure on him there.
No.
This is the one guy they got to double down low.
Good move, but he didn't finish again.
But the offensive rebounds. That's the one thing is this thing I noticed tonight. You got to keep them off the boards because they're not great in a half-court set.
Georgia out-rebounded him by 12 back at Rupp in February. Booker with a pull-up.
They talk about a contested shot.
Gaines is all in his face on that one. Place is cooking in here, Charles.
Let me tell you something. As a player, and Jay would know this, not saying that you couldn't play, Brad, but you couldn't. This would be like the ultimate competition game for a player. To play the #1 team in the country and nobody in the world thinks you can win. This would be awesome, and the building is going crazy. This is great environment here for the Bulldogs. I mean, it's not Auburn, but it's pretty good.
I'm not sure why you had to sing the Georgia fight song. I guess you lost a bet to Ernie, but you can't sing either, by the way.
Shoot, clearly I can't. I think it's a bad song, though.
Well, I'll tell you, Devin Booker's done a really nice job of running the floor. Anytime that there has been a change in possession and conversion, he's just running the lane, and it's been oftentimes the left lane. And this kid can really shoot it. His dad, Melvin Booker, played at Missouri, was all Big 8. Back when remember when there was only 8 teams in a conference?
He's still one of their top 6 scorers, his dad. His son missed his first 2 free throws, but he didn't miss many. 83% coming in.
Well, I don't even want to know the score, but I'm pretty sure Auburn's winning at Missouri tonight.
And Booker gives the lead back to Kentucky.
Well, Kentucky going to put full court pressure on with Willie Cauley-Stein. You don't see many.
Missouri's up 12-7. Just to let you know.
12-7. Okay, good.
I mean, Charles,
all we need is a touchdown to take the lead.
Charles, in the NBA, how many guys do you see like Willie Cauley-Stein that can guard a point guard all the way to a 5-man?
Maybe 3 guys. Not many guys are that big and that athletic. But I will tell you this next 4 minutes are really huge for Georgia, because this thing can go, it's a 1-point game now, but it can go to 6, 8, 10 quickly. The next 4 minutes to me are going to be the key to game for Georgia.
Great point. Here's Thornton, tough catch off the window. Sometimes it looks like he's losing the ball off his hand, and he still scores. Booker. And he's got a chance for a 3-point play. 3:33 remaining. Charles Barkley, great to see you, Chuck.
Brad, Jay, thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for coming. That was awesome.
I'll see you March Madness.
We asked for Ashley Judd, but she said no.
Hey, but just thanks for having me.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Chili's $20 dinner for 2. Fresh is happening now. And the Quicksilver card from Capital One. Earn unlimited 1.5% cash back. Every purchase, every day.
The halftime report. Brad, Jay?
All right, Chris, we'll see you guys in 3.5 minutes. 24-23, Georgia with a lead, and Shannon was near Mark Fox's huddle during that timeout.
Well, Brad, as tough as his guys on the court are playing right now, the emotion in that huddle, you can really feel it. He's just urging his guys to make up for their mistakes with the effort that they put forth on that court. He also said he wants them to get back, set their defense. That's certainly been a key for them.
There was not a basket on that shot by Booker, who's going to inbound before the timeout.
Yeah, really, Kentucky has not gotten much in the half court. It's been at conversion. They've been pushing the ball up the floor and getting a few easy things. But Georgia's half-court defense has been very good.
Booker, again, a contested jumper from about 17 feet and didn't go. And the ball will be out of bounds to Georgia.
You know, really, Kentucky, when they've gotten opportunities in the paint, they've not finished plays, and I do think they have settled for way too many contested jump shots, and that's exactly what Georgia wants them to do, is take difficult 2-point shots. And for the most part, Brad, Georgia's limited Kentucky to 1 shot. There have been a couple offensive rebounds. You're not going to shut this team out on the offensive glass. But Georgia's first shot defense has been pretty darn good all game long.
Georgia has what would normally be its starting lineup on the floor with Gino in there right now. There's Dakari Johnson with another block shot for Kentucky. We talked about it. They average 7 blocks a game, which is tops in the SEC and second in the country. And on 2-point attempts, I think you talked about this already. On 2-point attempts, they block 19% of your shots. So every 5th shot you put up is coming back in your face.
And you just have to keep going, but you have to be smart about it. And Jurisic is smart about it. He's used shot fakes very effectively. He's been a very good cutter. That time he thought he had an angle and was able to dribble the ball basically from 60 feet out and get all the way to the rim.
Nemi 3 out of 4 at the free throw line tonight. This is his first.
Well, Georgia's 1 of 8 from three-point range, and that one that they hit was that prayer that Thornton put up from the right corner. And really from 2-point range, they've been pretty effective. 9 of 17 overall, or 8 of 17 overall.
Jurisic had 17 points, 7 rebounds in the first meeting between these two teams, and he's looking for number 10 right there.
Well, he's a key, and he's done his job and then some in the first half. The guys that have to start getting hot are Gaines and Mann. I don't think Georgia can win without Gaines and Mann putting points on the board.
Booker has to give it up as Forte got out on him. Here's Jakari Johnson in the lane, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Well, it was a good idea by Thornton to contest, but you don't want to foul Johnson in there. Make him shoot over the top. They haven't made anything, and Jurisic trying to keep his body between Johnson and the basket. But boy, you bring those arms down and foul. One, it puts 2 on Thornton. He doesn't want to pick up a third before halftime.
Jakari Johnson sort of talks that one in. I got to give him credit. He was a 45% free throw shooter a year ago, and he's up over 60 right now, and tonight he's 3 for 3.
Yeah, he's really improved, I think, from last year to this year in large measure because he's in better condition. He's changing ends better, running the floor. His footwork's really good when he's down in the low post. He's just not an explosive guy. He's still, when he goes up for a turnaround jumper or jump hook, he's not an above the rim guy.
You're right, though. His body's changed since a year ago.
Well, Kentucky, I think, has played poorly on the offensive end. You give Georgia credit with the defense that Mark Fox's team has played, but still Kentucky tied in this ball game, not having played anywhere near its potential offensively.
Cut underneath by Forte. The extra dish to Jurisic. Nice pass by Forte.
Interior screening for Georgia has been very good. They are just picking off Kentucky, and the Wildcats not communicating on that low cross.
Three-pointer goes for Andrew Harrison, and he can be a game changer if he gets hot from the outside.
Well, Kentucky's got so many different weapons. It seems like every night somebody's going to get hot. Somebody's going to make shots. And Andrew Harrison, the last game at 23 points, he's about to put up a couple more, maybe.
Going to put him up from the free throw line as Gaines picks up his second foul.
I wonder if they're going to look at the monitor on that one to see if that was excessive in any way. I think it was just a hard foul. But yeah, they're going to call a flagrant.
Again, the officials, Jim Burr, Pat Adams, Doug Sermons. Here's another look.
Yeah, that was clear there was not a play on the ball. The question is, what is it excessive to be a flagrant one? I think it is. And I think that was a good call. But the official's going to go over to the monitor to take a look at it.
Looks sort of like an illegal block in the back on a punt return.
Yeah, I mean, there was no legitimate play on the ball here. Gaines just goes in, and I think it was the right call. Now, I don't think they're going to, it doesn't look like they're going to move it up to a flagrant 2, which is what they were looking at. Because once you call it a flagrant foul, you can't pull it back.
So mark that down with 2:08 remaining in the half. If that may change, as Charles Barkley said, the last 4 minutes of the game, in this case, the last 2 minutes of this half.
So that's 2 shots in the ball for Kentucky, so they can get some separation here. And it kind of takes the air out of the building a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it'll come back in if Georgia makes some good plays here. This is not the death knell by any means, but it's an opportunity for Kentucky on the road to separate.
Andrew Harrison's the 8th best free throw shooter in the conference, and shows why as he drains them both.
Kentucky's a pretty darn good free throw shooting team. They make over 70% of their free throws, so you foul them, and it's not like you get any kind of a break. They punish you for it.
As they did to Arkansas over the weekend when they went 21 out of 28 from the stripe.
Georgia sticking with the zone.
Fade away by Harrison. We said don't let him get hot. He hit a 3. He hit 2 free throws. And now he hits another bucket, and Kentucky's got its biggest lead.
And he's feeling now. That was a nice little step back. Got some separation from Cameron Forte. Looked like there was after that basket, a little bit of a warning for delay of game. Looked like somebody hit the ball and kept Georgia from inbounding it quickly.
So Andrew Harrison scored 7 straight points, and it gives Kentucky A 5-point advantage with 1:45 to go in the half.
Georgia sticking with those flex cuts along the baseline. Now Jurisic trying to post up.
And now Mann with a collision against Harrison and an offensive foul on Mann.
Now, Georgia has had a couple of opportunities where they pushed off and it hadn't been called. And that just dipped that shoulder, and Andrew Harrison was continuing to move his feet to maintain legal guarding position. That's one that could have been let go, and it has been let go through the course of the game. But I think a good call.
7-2 Kentucky run, and they can add to it here on this trip. So the crowd starts chanting defense. They need a stop because it could start to get away from them before halftime.
Georgia not very big along the top of this zone. I think Harrison can get into the paint.
Lyles. Echols does a nice job. The senior got a piece of that, tipped it to one of his teammates.
Now, Frazier hasn't gotten open for anything. Part of it, he's being guarded by Andrew Harrison, so he got size on him. And he's a small guard, and it's tough for him to shoot over the top of so many big guards.
Yeah, he's giving away about 7 or 8 inches in that deal.
See inside Mayton trying to post up, and Karl Anthony Towns with that right arm just wrapped around him. And he doesn't think he fouled. It clearly did.
Towns will sit with 2, and that's probably all we will see of him in this half, which has 67 seconds remaining. Yante Mayton, the freshman out of Pontiac, Michigan. 5 points so far in the game.
Well, that can be a tough decision for John Calipari. He has to take one 7-footer out, then he looks down at the bench and says, which 7-footer should I put in for that 7-footer?
Let me see.
And Brad, this is with Alex Poitras out for the season with a knee injury. This team was deeper.
Right.
I mean, it's really amazing the depth that Kentucky had to start the season. They're still a very deep, very long, very athletic team. But you have Poitras in there, and you've got another transition athlete that can guard multiple spots. Terrific offensive rebounder. I mean, that was a loss that affected this team, but still it just rolls on.
Poitras with ACL surgery. Out for the year. Mayton got 1 of 2.
Nice pass.
Eulis for 3. Didn't get the bounce. Who's going to win the loose ball? Frazier comes out of the pile. Gets it to Mann on the break. Nice job running the court, those two. Cuts the lead to 2.
And a great pass by J.J. Frazier. Now the building alive again as they get back within a bucket.
About a 13-second difference, shot clock and game clock. Harrison feeling it. The 3 doesn't go this time. And Mann's got the rebound. Georgia can tie this thing up or have the lead if they play for 1 and hit it.
Well, Mark Fox just calling a set and want to get into it with about 12 seconds left. High ball screen. Mann's going to be able to engage Dakari Johnson as the secondary defender.
Time to move now. It's down to 8. There's one more screen. Mann has to give it up. Jurisic might have a shot at the buzzer. Doesn't got it.
Well, Mann didn't get into it early enough, but Nemi Jurisic bailed him out. The kiss off the glass, and Jurisic has had a great first half. He's the reason that Georgia is tied right now with Kentucky at the half.
Mom and Dad looking on as we go to Shannon.
Coach, you guys knew you were going to take some dings in this first half. What has been the most significant for you guys?
Well, they're hurting us in pick and roll. We were trying to switch it. Not sure that's going to work with us in this team. But also, key play, up 5, one-handed rebound. They score, we miss, they score, look, could have been 7. Grab balls with 2 hands. All those simple things that we've done all year. But Georgia's playing great. They're not backing down, they're not afraid. It's going to be a great game.
Thank you, Coach.
I think he said it all right there. It's going to be a great game. Great first half, tied at the break, 32 apiece. Kentucky trying to stay perfect and go to 30-0. Georgia looking for its 20th win of the year, and they have held their home court. Time for the Mazda halftime report. Chris, Seth, and Jay are standing by, guys. Kentucky 32. This is only the second time all year that Kentucky's been tied at halftime as we take a look at our Sonic Showdown. Jake?
Well, Jurisic was terrific in the first half. Both he and Thornton combined for 22 points. They were 8 of 13 from the field. The rest of the Bulldogs were 4 of 15. But Jurisic really was the key in the first half. His ability to step away, cut off of screens, his use of shot fakes, getting into the defense, and his ability to play in the post, inside and out. Just had a terrific first half. 14 points. He had 3 rebounds. That shot he made at the end of the half to tie the game bailed Georgia out of a bad possession. But Georgia's game plan, I think, was terrific. To pull the big guys away from the basket, get them in screen and roll situations, involve them in ball screens. They executed very well. But, Brad, we've talked about it throughout the first half. Georgia's guards have to score. You know, Mann, Gaines, Frazier, they combined for 2 of 10. I don't think that's going to be enough in the second half. They're going to have to score.
Kentucky had a 5-point lead going into the final minute. Jurisic with that basket at the buzzer, tied it up at 32. I mentioned only the second time this year they've been tied at halftime. Previous time was the first week of December. They were tied at 26 apiece with Texas. They went on to win that one by 12. First meeting this year, they beat Georgia by 11 at Rupp Arena. And now the Dogs at home thinking upset, but we got a long ways to go.
Tyler Ulis starting the second half on Charles Mann. I think John Calipari wants some defense in this second half because Georgia, on his 12 field goals, had 9 assists. That's a 75% assist rate. The assist rate that Kentucky gives up is 40%.
Whoa, Georgia opens up with a 3 by Gaines.
Just a miscommunication on a switch, and Cauley Stein did not get out on Kenny Gaines, and Kenny Gaines was 1 of 6 in that first half. That was a big bucket for Gaines to try to get started.
And on one shot, Georgia matches its biggest lead of the game. Towns off the window. Cauley Stein, great offensive rebound. He missed the shot, though, as we check in with Shannon.
Well, Brad, today at practice, Coach Fox reminded his guys to come into this game with full confidence that they could win. You really saw that confidence in their eyes as they walked out of the tunnel. Marcus Thornton grabbed the guys. He talked about poise, and poise was something else Coach Fox mentioned to me. He said we played a little amped up in that first half. We have to have poise offensively, and we have got to set our defense.
They start off with a 3 to take the lead. Let's see what they do their second trip down court. Mann, extra pass was one too many off Marcus Thornton. Thornton saying it was off Booker. So Georgia turns it over. Kentucky played the first half. I don't know if I've seen a team play first half without a turnover. They didn't have any turnovers in the first half.
Well, some of their bad shots should have been counted as turnovers. they took so many contested 2s, and I thought settled at times. But, you know, Brad, their big guys have got to start finishing plays around the basket. You know, you get the ball within 5 feet of the basket, just because somebody's in front of you, you still have to score.
Harrison got a 3. That's Aaron Harrison, his first 3 of the night, and it ties it up for the 7th time tonight.
Well, along with Devin Booker, Aaron Harrison's the leading scorer on this Kentucky team. A streaky shooter. He's not shot the ball all that well this year. And those are shots that are difficult to hit over the Kentucky defense, but Gaines has got to make those.
We've had 15 lead changes, 7 ties, and Harrison got his own miss. Taking it inside for a second attempt and got it. Let's see if the basket's good. It is. 5 straight points for Aaron Harrison and a foul on Kenny Paul Gino.
But Pat Adams running in after the ball went through the basket to call that on Gino. And I don't know exactly where. Well, he fouled Karl Anthony Towns. That's what it was. He just grabbed Towns to keep him from going in for an offensive rebound. So the basket's going to count, and then Kentucky's going to get the ball out of bounds underneath. So the foul was unrelated to the shot. It was on the rebound. Gino fouling Karl Anthony Towns.
And Gino sitting down. So Kentucky takes a 2-point lead.
Back to the zone. Gaines out top. It's an odd man front. 3-2, 1-2-2, whatever you want to call it.
Harrison gives it off to Towns, who'll have to give it back up on the outside to Ulis. And now Booker for 3. Forte with a rebound. You know, we watched Kentucky come out and warm up before Georgia came out of here, and you and I looked at each other, and you said they don't look that worried.
They didn't look worried at all. They looked like they were coming out for the start of the game.
Jurisic, great cut to the basket, and with the left hand picks up his 16th point.
Boy, they're getting great cuts off those little slice screens. Kind of a shuffle cut to the basket on ball reversal, and Kentucky's got to jump to the ball and get in the way of those cutters and put pressure on the ball.
Thornton has just picked up his 3rd foul, and that's not good news for Mark Fox.
You can see as the ball is reversed, that's a little shuffle cut, slice cut, right to the basket, and a finish with the left hand. And if you don't jump to the ball and bump that cutter, and you get an easy run up there, you better get great pressure on the ball to take away vision.
Not sure about that last foul. Marcus Thornton certainly didn't like it, nor did Mark Fox, but here's another look. Ooh, that's a lot of ball.
A lot of ball, but, you know, Brad, it seems like any time a guy brings his arm down, the bias is going to be toward a foul.
And Aaron Harrison's really opened things up here with 7 points in the first 2 minutes and 45 seconds of this half.
There's so many guys on this Kentucky team that can give you offense, but the problem is they don't get it consistently, and their big guys are going to have to start giving it to them.
Man on a drive, rejected by Towns.
Oh, what timing by Karl-Anthony Towns.
And Harrison going to go to the free throw line again.
Whenever there's a blocked shot and Kentucky can look to run, they can really get an advantage situation. And both Andrew Harrison and Aaron Harrison have looked to push it up, as has Devin Booker. Devin Booker's done it by running the left lane. Karl-Anthony Towns, the best shot blocker on this team. Knocking that back, and that's where you get offense off of defense.
And it's been all Aaron Harrison in this second half. By the way, Georgia now in the opening 3 minutes of this half has 2 of their starters having picked up their 3rd foul, and Marcus Thornton and most recently Kenny Gaines.
You know, one of the things where Shannon Spake mentioned it about the emotional investment that you make when you're playing against Kentucky. But the Wildcats have so many bodies, and they keep coming at you. You know, they can wear you down. It's like body blows in a prize fight. Ultimately, it's going to catch up to you, and you're going to lose your legs.
Here's been Georgia's biggest weapon. Jurisic trying a hook shot on the baseline. Last touch by Kentucky.
Cam Forte was able to come over the top and knock that away from Towns.
Frazier checks in for Georgia. And again, at least he's in there when Ulis is as well. Those two virtually the same size. Here they are matched up against one another.
Yeah, that makes it a fair fight.
Yeah. He is yet to score. Frazier. He has now.
Well, just a little ball screen, and the floor opened up wide for J.J. Frazier. Nobody came over to block or challenge that shot.
Towns really threw his shoulder in. It scores in close.
When you get that low post position, Karl-Anthony Towns is going to score, get fouled, or both just about every time. You got to make a Kentucky big guy catch it off the block. If they catch it in the lane, they're going to have a great opportunity to score.
Jurisic scores and a foul.
Well, that seemed like that should have been a good basket, but the referees had that on the floor. Those are the kind of continuations that you really feel like you should see. You know, fake handoff, face up. And looked like they said they got it right away. I thought it was after he went up, but apparently they blew it on the floor.
Yeah, they blew it on the floor, all right.
Yeah.
4 minutes in, and Kentucky by 4. Georgia again with Marcus Thornton on the bench.
Gaines is the guy that's he's got to do something out there. He's a good player, but he has struggled against Kentucky. That's an offensive foul.
And so Jurisic picks his foul up.
I think they called it on Towns, but that's an offensive foul. They just didn't call it that way. Karl-Anthony Towns got that foul. But boy, when he gets good low post position with 2 feet in the paint, forget it. He's going to score.
The SEC on ESPN. We're at Stegman Coliseum in Athens, Georgia. Kentucky leads by 4, 43-39. Brad Nessler, Jay Billis, Shannon Spake. And Jay Billis taking us inside the play, brought to you by Continental Tire.
Well, here's an example of Georgia putting the big guys of Kentucky into a ball screen. Jurisic setting a ball screen. There's a switch and not great communication between Booker and Willie Cauley-Stein. But even if you make a mistake on a switch, you got to play through it. Cauley-Stein came off of Kenny Gaines. Kenny Gaines knocked it down. And Gaines has struggled against Kentucky in the 2 games now that Georgia's played against Kentucky. Gaines now a combined 4 of 21. And he's going to have to get some points in this thing if Georgia's going to want to win. He's too good of a player to be limited in this way, even though Kentucky is just a superior defensive team to really anything in college basketball. He's got to figure out a way to score.
Before that break in the action, I said the foul was on Jurisic, which I thought it was in an offensive foul. They called it on Towns instead. So Georgia with the ball and Jurisic with the 3-pointer that's off the mark.
But how about that challenge by Willie Cauley-Stein? You were right, by the way. It was an offensive foul that wasn't called. That was a clear chicken wing offensive foul.
Dakari Johnson, what a drop step. Missed with the left hand. And ball comes out. Frazier on the run.
Another one where Kentucky doesn't finish. Georgia does a good job of staying between the Wildcat big guy, Johnson, and the basket and making him finish over them, and he can't do it.
Mayton trying to get around those long arms of Cauley-Stein. And now Mann and a runner on the baseline. Charles Mann.
That's Charles Mann's game. He's a driver first and does a great job of getting to the free throw line. Shoots about 6-7 free throws a game. Haven't been there yet, but he needs to continue to attack.
Last game he didn't get to the free throw line either. That's the first time in 88 games that he hasn't made it to the stripe. And as Jay said, hadn't been there tonight either. Harrison Aaron missed the shot, rebound, and the dish to Cauley-Stein, and he missed in close. And Georgia's got a chance to tie it again.
Why wouldn't he just go up on the same side and force Georgia to block that shot or foul? I mean, he had no chance to get that to the other side of the rim. That's a foul there by Cauley-Stein. Got away with it.
Frazier. 3-pointer rimmed out. Without 14 minutes, Kentucky trying to go to 30-0, leading by 2.
Boy, with as poorly as Kentucky has played on offense, it's remarkable they've got the lead. Absolutely remarkable.
There's their first official turnover. As Jay said earlier, some of the shots they took could have been considered turnovers, but that's the first one officially in the book.
Well, Georgia has played that 3-2 zone, the odd man front. And Kentucky really hasn't penetrated it off the dribble. I think they can get into the middle of it and make a play, but they haven't done it.
And Thornton too high for Frazier. Georgia gives it right back.
They can't afford those unforced errors.
Georgia's 8th turnover of the game. And Mark Fox asking for some help from the fans. And he gets it.
Well, he knows that his team has worked hard to have an opportunity. And there's a long way to go in this one. Almost 14 minutes to go. Oh, horn set against the zone.
Tom sets a pick for Ulis. He lets fly. Not even close on a 3-pointer.
Well, Ulis has really struggled from the perimeter, and he's gotten some open looks. He's a much better shooter than he has shown here in Athens.
Now again, Frazier's lined up with one of the Harrisons. Thornton with 3 fouls. Got it inside. Tie game.
Or a little flex cut, then a duck in, and the drive by Thornton. That was excellent offense by Georgia.
And now Mark Fox doesn't have to ask for noise. 43-43. Aaron Harrison out of control underneath. Frazier 3-on-2. Gaines with him. Up, under, in. Georgia lead. Georgia at home leading 45-43. Their head coach, part cheerleader, urging the fans on. And his dogs have responded. Thornton hits the deck as he hits the window. And then following a poor shot on one end, Kenny Gaines up, under, and in. And Georgia leads 45-43.
Boy, the body control of Kenny Gaines. And Georgia out-rebounding the much bigger and more athletic Kentucky Wildcats in this game. Georgia's been finishing plays that Kentucky hadn't, Brad.
I'm sure that's what John Calipari is telling his group. Shannon was over there.
Yeah, Brad. Actually, he's telling his group something we've heard all season. This is good for us. He said right now we are going to find out what we need in this team.
They open up out of the break with a hook shot that Towns missed. And Frazier just pushing his teammate, Forte, up the court.
You know, Kentucky went to that little stack play where they just screen in and the low man comes into the middle. And they got the shot they wanted. They're just not making it. You get the ball within 6-7 feet of the basket, you got to score. And Kentucky's just not doing it.
Booker with a hand check foul.
You know, Kentucky's only down a bucket here with over 12 minutes to go in regulation. But you know that Georgia wants to continue to spread the Wildcats out, make the big guys come out on the floor and guard.
Only Kentucky's third team foul of the half at the 12-minute mark.
Another ball screen to engage Karl Anthony Towns.
Gaines got loose on the baseline.
When the big guys are out on the perimeter trying to guard ball screens, that's going to open up drives and Georgia's ability to attack the rim.
Booker a three, long three, doesn't go. Thornton the rebound. Dogs with their biggest lead at the 11.5-minute mark.
Boy, this is a big possession for Georgia. If they can get another bucket here and get a little bit of separation, they can put some real game pressure on Kentucky. There's the switch. Thornton on with Aaron Harrison on him.
Pass down to Forte, looked too strong, but Forte got a hand on it. And now Mayton somehow comes out of the pile with it. Frazier, deep ball. Got it! Took it from the Oconee County line and knocked it in.
Who is that masked man?
You said if Georgia scored, they'd put some heat on Kentucky. An 11-0 run by the Dogs, including this from J.J. Frazier.
Well, he is right by the hash mark. I think Mark Fox was thinking, I don't know about that. Oh, great shot.
They don't come much deeper than that one. That was way outside the NBA line. Speaking of which, doubleheader tomorrow night starts at 7:30 with the NBA countdown brought to you by Kia. And then the Heat and the Lakers get together at 8. At 10:30, it's the Clippers and the Trailblazers. NBA on ESPN tomorrow night. J.J. Frazier, that was reminiscent of Mississippi State when he hit 7 out of 7 for 37 points, a career high. That's only his second field goal of the night, but it brought the house down and it brought a timeout from Kentucky.
Georgia sticking with that zone.
That was a good move.
Good job to get the ball inside. You know, Booker had a shot out of that corner. The corners are going to be open because the big guys in the bottom of that zone have to cover the corners. But that means if you throw out, you're going to be able to look inside because they're not going to be able to recover. At least theoretically shouldn't be able to recover.
Man working against Towns. Stops in the lane, dishes it off to Thornton underneath.
Well, that was a pretty play by Charles Mann. Drive, draw the big guys, and then drop it off.
Harrison had a moment. Forte got out on him. And now the hook shot goes by Towns again. That's his move in the lane.
He's got a lot of game down low. Got a little turnaround jumper. got the jump hook, and he can power his way to the basket. And Kentucky's got to continue to go inside to play inside out.
We've only got a half to go, and Georgia leads by 5. Forte up off the window. His first basket.
Well, Kentucky's got to do a better job of guarding those ball screens because Georgia is getting all the way into the lane, not getting a direct line to the bucket, but they're finishing plays when Kentucky is not.
9:35 to go. Do you believe this shot? J.J. Frazier. A little more high percentage shot by Gaines on the baseline drive, and the Dogs lead by 7.
Brad, Jay, and Shannon, if they can hear me, it's Stegman.
Thanks, Chris. We got you. Villanova considered, according to Joe Lunardi, a #1 seed. You buying that, Jay?
Yeah, for now. I mean, obviously, this is subject to change. Joe's predicting what the committee will do and predicting what they would do right now. But Wisconsin, I think, and Arizona both still alive for a #1 seed going down the stretch. If Wisconsin can win the Big Ten tournament, they've already won the Big Ten outright. Same thing with Arizona. They won the Pac-12 outright. And if they win the tournament, I think they both make a pretty darn good case.
Of course, Gonzaga lost over the weekend, and as you said to me earlier, their margin for error is zilch.
2-3 zone right now from Kentucky because they cannot keep Georgia out of the lane. They're getting ball screened to death.
Georgia was 6 for 6 in their last 6 shots before those 2 misses, but then a tip in. I think they give it to Forte. Or was it Maton?
Well, Maton was there, but Yante Maton kept that ball alive. If he doesn't keep it alive, there's no way that Georgia has a chance for that offensive rebound. Georgia's sticking with this zone, and Kentucky has been unable to solve it.
They give that basket to Maton, and the lead again now stretches to 9, and just got cut to 6 by Andrew Harrison.
Andrew Harrison has shot the ball very well in this game. Remember, he had 23 at Rupp against Georgia. He must like seeing the Bulldogs. Back to man now for Kentucky.
Jurisic with 16 points in this game to lead Georgia. 10 on the shot clock. Sets a pick for Mann. He's going to try to take it inside and threw it away. Or dribbled it away, I should say. And now Kentucky has to take a timeout with a guy on the deck.
That's either a foul or a walk. He fell down without dribbling. You fall down, that's a walk. I mean, I thought he was fouled. All right, watch this. All right, he's not dribbling. All right, he gets hit, and he goes down to the floor. That is a walk. You are not allowed to fall down with possession of the ball. You fall down anytime you want, as I've proven. But that's either a walk or a foul.
The collision was with Mann, and then Jurisic came over to just try to get a jump ball because he didn't know whether or not there'd been a timeout called. And a timeout was called by Kentucky, and they're down to 1. Don't forget, Saturday's showcase presented by 5 Hour Energy, part of the Journey to the Tourney presented by Sonic. And Kansas and Oklahoma. Jayhawks have won 11 straight conference titles. Unbelievable. You were talking about all the great coaches Kansas has had, and they just keep rotating over the years, or over decades.
Kansas has had 8 coaches in its long and storied history. You know, the guy that invented the game, which is kind of no small feat, James Naismith. Fog Allen, who's in the Hall of Fame. And then they've had 3 straight coaches that are Hall of Famers. Larry Brown, Roy Williams, and Bill Self will be in the Hall of Fame. And that 11 in a row is one of the most remarkable streaks in the history of college basketball.
Nice follow off the miss of Lee by Karl Anthony Towns. He's got 10 for the game.
Now Kentucky trying to put on some full court pressure. Lee in the game. He's guarding Jurisic.
Gaines gives it up to Jurisic. Frazier turns, fires, came up short. Way short. And now Kentucky's got a chance to cut it down to 2. And It is by Lee. Nice feed inside. Marcus Lee slams it home. And Georgia's 9-point lead's evaporated to a deuce.
That is so hard to defend. You drive in. If you give the least bit of help, Kentucky's big guys are going to the rim, and they are pitching that ball up there. You cannot come off the Kentucky big guys.
Jurisic is going to be bumped by Marcus Lee. And the 15th foul on Kentucky as we break it here with 6:55 remaining. Georgia trying to cling to an upset, leading by 2.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Cree LED Lighting and in part by the Mazda CX-5 and the new Taco Bell app. Millions of combinations. What will you make?
With another 3, Kentucky up 1. Newby throws it up at the iron, almost winning, and the Wildcats hold on.
3-ball right to the key. Good! And the Cats dodge another bullet in double overtime.
Towns will take it, and he'll knock it down. Oh! Holly Stein! Kentucky still undefeated. Last one, and then throws it over.
Billy Stein rising to the occasion.
Hornsby for the win. Missed it. And Kentucky has survived.
So those were the close calls. Ole Miss and Texas A&M back-to-back overtimes. The game Jake called at Florida. And the LSU game that we had for you on Super Tuesday. And it's hard to be perfect. Ask that guy. Bill Belichick in the house tonight. His team undefeated before they ran into the Giants and lost the Super Bowl.
Belichick even wears hoodies to basketball games.
Gaines up high and got it.
So they are dominating the paint and not just throwing it into the post. They have spread the floor. They're getting into side pick and roll action. And Georgia is getting into the lane almost at will. That's 36 points in the paint for the Bulldogs.
Here's Towns. And he has been the man in the second half with moves like that. 10.5, 12 in the game.
Well, Towns has been spectacular of late. He was 20 of his last 23 field goals coming into this game. And in this one, he is now 7 out of 10 for 14 points. Good drive.
Jurisic. Great drive. 18 for Jurisic.
Georgia's game plan has been spectacular. Just putting Kentucky's big guys in positions to have to guard out on the floor. It's an offensive foul.
Yeah, he threw one too many shoulders. And this time, Thornton hits the deck, and it goes the other way.
Now, was that a little bit of a flop? Yes. But that with that lowered shoulder, and I think that's the 4th foul on Karl Anthony Towns.
It is.
And when he caught the ball, just dropped that shoulder. And even though that's not enough force to knock down a guy as strong, when he put that arm out, it's just an automatic call.
Might have gotten away with the shoulder, but not the elbow and the forearm.
Exactly.
And he sits with 4. Georgia leads by 4.
And that's a big part of their low post offense. The only part of their low post offense that's been finishing in this game.
And with that, Thornton goes up against Takari Johnson, and Karl Stein knocks it out of bounds, but the foul is on Johnson.
Well, that was a tough one because Johnson was backing up and Thornton was going right into his chest. I don't know what he could have done there other than just wave a red cape and say Olay.
Marcus Thornton playing in his 129th game for the Bulldogs, which ties a school record. When he plays at Auburn on Saturday, he'll break that mark.
And he's done a nice job in this game. That's his 13th point. 5 of 8 from the field in this one.
Another one of those guys that's gotten better every year, much like Jurisic.
Played with injuries, and he's such a good defender. He can guard multiple positions and an excellent rebounder.
And a pretty good free throw shooter tonight. 3 of 4 from the line. The lead goes back to a half dozen for Georgia with 5:30 to play.
You thought that Georgia's guards had to perform at a high level in order to beat Kentucky, but really it's been the big guys that have played extraordinarily well. Thornton, Jurisic, even Yante Maten's come in and done an excellent job.
They backed off Andrew Harrison, which they should never do, but he missed the three, and Thornton's got the rebound.
Well, Georgia with a 6-point lead can make it 8 or 9 with under 5 minutes to go in regulation. There's another big possession for the Bulldogs. They are really spreading out Kentucky.
Man against Andrew Harrison. Had it taken away from him by Cauley Stein, and now the outlet, Aaron Harrison. And he's got a chance for a three-point play.
Boy, what a turnaround there. A chance to go up 8 or 9 for Georgia, and they give up a layup and a potential and one. A little spin move by Charles Mann, and Kentucky has been very effective at conversion. They get the ball down court quickly, and Gaines with really kind of a needless foul there. If you're going to foul, you got to keep him from scoring.
So Aaron Harrison going to the free throw line, where he's 4 for 4 tonight. 11 of his 13 points have come in this half.
Well, Kentucky shooting under 40% in the second half. What a rebound.
Oh, Cauley Stein can't ever let that happen on a missed free throw.
Boy, that's a 4-point play and really a 6 or 7-point turnaround.
Now to 4.5 to go.
Boy, Brad, that was a huge exchange right there.
Sure was. Here's Mann being harassed by Ulis, and a little bit too much harassment. This one drives coaches crazy, doesn't it, Jay?
It's just
a missed free throw.
Yeah, it's just a tough block out to get. You know, Thornton gives up control, and then when Dakari Johnson comes across, a lot of times that second slot will cross and guys bump into each other and you can get around. Those are the kind of plays that a lot of teams run on a free throw block out. But you're right. You got to get right into your man, and Thornton didn't do that from the very beginning, and that's what set that up for Kentucky.
Mann's first trip to the free throw line, and we mentioned in the win over Missouri is the first time in 88 games that he hadn't been to the stripe, and it took him all the way to 422 tonight to get there in this one. And he missed it.
Well, Mann's done a nice job in this game, especially giving the ball up. He's had, 6 or 7 assists in the ball game. A couple of turnovers, but he hasn't scored at the same rate as he did last year, but he's really had some excellent games.
Chance for Kentucky to give us our 10th tie of the night. Or they could lead with a 3. Aaron Harrison through Gaines, got it. We're tied for the 10th time at 62.
Well, Aaron Harrison has really improved that mid-range game. That shot fake got Gaines off balance, and smart move by Gaines not to foul, but that was a tough take and make off the glass from Aaron Harrison. Great move.
Now Georgia needs to answer as we approach 3.5 to go.
Boy, a little screen for the screener. If Gaines had come off that right away, he had a shot.
Now he's in traffic, and he's tied up. The ball's ripped out. And the foul is going to be on Gaines. I believe it is. And Mark Fox is saying, how does that happen?
Boy, Aaron Harrison went after that ball with 2 hands. Instead of slapping at it, he went to grab it and was able to take that ball away from Gaines. Mark Fox complaining that there was a foul, but I don't think there was.
17 lead changes, 10 ties in the ball game. This is a look at the last play as we go to timeout, even at 62. Super Tuesday has been such. 10 ties in the ballgame, 3:25 to go. Jay and I have been talking about Georgia's backcourt coming through. They do have 16 points in this half, but it's been their big guys that have carried the load so far in this game.
Well, Jurisic, Thornton, and Maten have combined for 40 points, 17 rebounds, and 4 blocked shots. There's Maten going up for a second chance opportunity and getting it in. And Jurisic with 18 points has been magnificent in this game with his ability to play inside and out. And Georgia, Brad, has shot 51% in the game, and Kentucky has shot 39%, but still it's a tie game in large measure because Kentucky is scoring off of Georgia's turnovers. Georgia has 11 turnovers to Kentucky's 4. And the Wildcats have put up 15 points off those 11 turnovers.
There's Towns playing with 4 fouls.
So Gaines almost able to jump that handoff and take it the other way.
3 minutes to play. 10 on the shot clock. Towns got his man in the air, goes inside. Doesn't get it, but the second try is good.
Well, how about that? With 4 fouls off that horn set, they throw back, shot fake, drive, and then he gets his own miss, and now he's got an N1. Just a terrific job by Karl Anthony Towns, and Thornton should have taken that charge or tried to block that shot. He just backed away there, maybe because he was in the charge circle, but just too easy for Karl Anthony Towns to get to the rim. Just a great drive by Towns.
Jay, that's Kentucky's first lead in 12 minutes exactly.
And to have played what I consider to be so poorly on the offensive end. I mean, you have to think, what more can Georgia do? They're shooting 50% from the field. You know, 11 turnovers is certainly not a good thing, but it's not a killer. And yet Kentucky's still got a 3-point lead going down the stretch with under 3 minutes to go in regulation.
Kentucky was down 56-47 by 9, as you see there in the graphic. And now it's Kentucky in front by 3.
Well, that was a
carry on the hip.
And that was on his hip.
Gaines, the pass underneath. And a blocking foul is going to be on Aaron Harrison. This is Kenny Gaines' first trip as well to the free throw line. So Lyles goes out and Towns comes right back in. And again, Karl Anthony Towns playing with 4 fouls, and he has been almost, well, without a doubt, the biggest cat in the second half, along with Aaron Harrison. And Georgia not helping themselves from the free throw line.
You got to think that Kentucky's going to look to get the ball inside here. Georgia's going man-to-man now.
That's with Mayton on Towns. Freshman on freshman. Ulis leaves it for Towns.
Oh, just a beautiful play. Curling off of Towns, and Towns just diving to the basket and being found by Ulis with an excellent pass.
And now with just under 2 minutes to go, Kentucky has matched its biggest lead that they had in the first half. Up by 5. Gaines, tough shot, rebound Ulis. Kentucky now just that close to being 30-0.
Gaines really, I thought, settled there. Didn't put Kentucky in a position to foul. And John Calipari calling a set. Right now, Andrew Harrison with the ball out top.
Andrew Harrison.
Good decision.
Brings it back out. Now with 7 on the shot clock. He works against man. Throws one up there. I think he was looking for help from one of the big guys underneath. And it goes harmlessly out of bounds. Turnover Kentucky.
Well, Calipari called the play there. I don't think that Kentucky ran it anywhere near the way that he expected early on. And then I think you're right. I think that's exactly what Andrew Harrison was doing, was throwing that ball up for a lob. But that's where he just needs to take that shot himself, I think.
This is a vital scoring possession for Georgia. Down by 5 with a minute to go. There's a wide open Frazier, but he hit the side of the backboard.
They ran a little hammer action there, and that you got to make that shot. He's wide open.
And after hitting one from about 27 feet away, he missed an open one on the baseline. Saturday, 6:30 ACC showdown. Virginia and Louisville get together. And then at 9, the greatest rivalry in college basketball. Duke won an overtime thriller back on February 18th. And that'll be the Dean Dome, the site for the rematch. Duke, North Carolina. Dan and Jay will be there to bring it to you. And while this one doesn't have the luster of Duke and North Carolina, it is the 145th time that these two teams Kentucky and Georgia have gotten together, and it looks like Kentucky's going to find a way to pull out another one. Got a really good free throw shooter at the line.
This Kentucky team, Brad, they answer the bell. I mean, it doesn't matter whether they play well, they play poorly. They find ways to win. They keep plugging. You know, we said at halftime, you know, they didn't look bothered at all by the fact it was a tie game and that they hadn't played particularly well. They've got ultimate confidence that they're going to make the plays necessary to win.
Now Georgia's got to score and score in a hurry. Man fouled before he got to the basket. It'll be on Ulis. Kentucky would tie the second longest win streak in SEC history. This is already the longest streak to start a season. That longer one was 32 games, and it went over the course of more than one season. Georgia was trying to get its 20th win and get double-digit SEC wins back-to-back years. They already have that at 10-6, but trying to stay in that hunt for one of the top 4 seeds in a tournament in Nashville starting a week from tomorrow. And that's vital for a lot of those teams because you get a double bye. You don't have to play till Friday. Kentucky, we already knew, didn't have to play till Friday.
Yeah, they don't have to worry about getting a double bye, nor do they have to worry about a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament. No matter what happens, including tonight on into the SEC tournament, this team's going to have a #1 seed.
If this stays the way it is, Jay, 6-point lead right now for Kentucky, 45 seconds to go. I thought Mark Fox's game plan and Georgia's game plan was sensational.
I do too. I think it was an excellent game plan that Georgia did so many good things to put themselves in a position to win. But you have to take your hat off to Kentucky. You know, the Kentucky team didn't play well on the offensive end. They didn't finish plays, but they kept plugging.
Right.
And this is a team that, you know, I don't know what we want. For people that don't like Kentucky, that's fine. That's a matter of taste. That's okay with me. But what do we want in a college team? You know, this team sacrifices. They share the ball. They play their tails off on defense. You know, it's not like they only try to do it on offense. And, you know, we say we don't like the one-and-done culture. They have guys that come. They had 6 guys that came back, 2 of whom came back twice. There's a lot to admire with the way this Kentucky team plays and goes about its business.
I agree 100%. Charles Mann at the free throw line. Georgia's on a scoring drought of almost 5 minutes. And you can't do that while Kentucky's going 12 straight points. And it continues as another missed free throw. And that's desperation time. Georgia trying to foul somebody that isn't a 79% free throw shooter.
Wow.
And they do get a steal.
Boy, there was an awful lot of contact there. Boy, I don't know if that's not that looked like a foul to me. But looks like it's Kentucky ball with Georgia stepping out of bounds there. So Kentucky has to be strong with the ball. It's a 2-possession game. And if they're strong with the ball and inbound it, they're going to be shooting free throws.
And they're taking a look at the shot clock, too, I think. The 33.8 is what we have going on. That's the 3rd time Georgia has stepped out of bounds within 4 feet of that same spot. I think they should avoid that part of the court. I think it was Frazier every time, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it was.
So 33.8 away from 30-0 for Kentucky.
When both the Harrison brothers, Andrew and Aaron Harrison, did a solid job in this second half. Andrew Harrison has started to play some of his best basketball. And when he's in attack mode and playing downhill, getting into the lane, he's a really good player. And he's been really good in this one at times, as has Aaron Harrison. Those guys made some plays when everybody except Karl Anthony Towns was strong. Did not have one of his better games after coming into this one, averaging 18 over his last 2.
Georgia missed 3 front ends of 1-and-1s here in the waning moments. And I think Pat Adams is warning Mark Fox. They're trying to pull both coaches back to their respective coaching boxes. And it's a hard sell right now. You can tell by the look on Mark's face. And in the meantime, John Calipari tried to bring his team over for a mini timeout. And Doug Sermons broke that up. So now there is going to be a timeout taken by Kentucky, and that's their last one.
They just couldn't get the ball in. Georgia did a nice job of 5 guys playing all out for 5 seconds.
Well, you talk about closing out. Kentucky scored 12 points in the last 4 minutes. Georgia hasn't scored any.
Boy, really amazing. I mean, when Kentucky needs to get it done, they get it done.
Yep.
And they've had opportunities like, you know, I'm on record as saying I don't think this team is unbeatable. I can't remember an unbeatable team in college basketball. You'd have to go back to the UCLA teams of the late 60s and early 70s to get really unbeatable. I mean, Indiana in 76, the last unbeaten team in college basketball. I think even Bob Knight would say, look, we could have been beaten, but they answered every call. This Kentucky team is similar. You may be able to find a number of teams in the last, 30-plus years that have been as good as Kentucky. But every time they've been challenged, they've found a way. At Texas A&M, at LSU, when they had shots to beat them. Kentucky answers the bell and wins.
And they're based on their chances through the regular season, through the SEC tournament in Nashville, and through the NCAA tournament. Obviously, they go down. It's funny. I was doing a Kentucky game in Lexington when they were 21-0. And following the game, one of their fans came up and said, "Hey, Bryant, only 19 more." They had it counted down at that time. If you go 40-0, you win the whole shebang.
Well, when we were in the Bahamas watching Kentucky play in August, that's people were coming up, Cat fans were coming up and saying, "What do you think, Jay, 40-0?" I think, geez, it's a little early. Let's wait till we get to September to start making those proclamations. But you know what? They were right.
Now they're going to be just 10 away here in 33 seconds or so, it appears. Foul is on Kenny Gaines, and that's going to do it for him. And he had a good second half. Ends up with 11 points and fouling out.
And Karl Anthony Towns stepping to the free throw line at 6'11" and just a freshman from New Jersey, where he went to St. Joseph High School. Same high school that produced Jay Williams, who's sitting in the studio with our Seth Greenberg. But he's a near 80% free throw shooter. So you foul him, he can have a 7-footer in the game that can step the line and knock big free throws down.
He and Devin Booker are both finalists for the Wayman Tisdale Award, which goes to the top freshman in the country, and certainly it'd be hard to say that there's too many guys better than this guy. Okafor at Duke and a couple others, but he's had a huge game. 15 points, 18 points and 7 rebounds tonight.
Yeah, he just continues to play at a really high level in a variety of different areas. Okafor may be a more dominant low post player than Karl Anthony Towns. I don't think he's as versatile. And he's not quite as good of a shot blocker.
Man through traffic. They could have used a few more of those a little bit earlier. And now the inbounds, Andrew Harrison. They're going to foul him with 27 seconds to go.
Karl Anthony Towns came into this ball game. He has had 6 double-doubles on the season, including 4 out of his last 7 games coming into this one. And he's really an outstanding low-post player. He can go over either shoulder. He's mobile. He can step away. You get him in the middle of the floor. He can knock down a shot at the three-point range. He can also put the ball on the deck. And he's hit some big shots in key situations. That jumper he hit against LSU in Baton Rouge, as big a shot as you're going to find by anybody.
Eccles with a 3. Jurisic had a hand on it, and it's going to be out of bounds to Georgia. Still a 2-possession game with 15.6. They need a quick basket, preferably a 3 right here.
Well, Kentucky's got to guard that three-point line. Can't go for any shot fakes.
Thornton will throw it up there. He might be one of their last resorts from three-point land, though he did hit one in the first half.
There was a little bit of contact on Thornton there on that shot, just not enough to call it. And Kentucky putting Georgia at the line and extending this game.
And that's going to do it for Towns. He's going to foul out, matching his season high with 19 points.
Well, take a look here when Thornton puts up this shot. There was a little bit of contact. Well, there's not much of a foul there. It's just like it was on Towns for being bigger. How dare you be bigger?
Sorry, my wingspan 7'3 1/4. I understand Florida's beating Texas A&M tonight. Florida's where Florida goes to Lexington to wrap up the regular season on Saturday.
Well, right now Kentucky is a box out and or an inbounds play, a clean inbounds from salting this thing away.
J.J. Frazier, the 4th best free throw shooter in the conference, maybe without the mask.
You know, and you have to think, Brad, that getting worn down throughout the course of this game, it has been a factor for Georgia because some of their shots have come up short. And there's such a physical and emotional investment in this game, and Kentucky comes at you in waves. And I do think teams get worn down, especially shooters. Kind of Rick Pitino's thing, get into a shooter's legs.
And as Frazier missed them both, we walk down the other way, and now fans start filing out. But it was a packed house at Stegeman Coliseum tonight. And of course, some of them came to see an undefeated team, and a lot of Kentucky fans got in here. And they give Georgia one last chant tonight while the Kentucky fans are going Go Big Blue. Everybody talking at the same time right now.
It's amazing. Isn't it amazing how many Kentucky fans come on the road and find their way into opponents' buildings? It's remarkable. They're like locusts.
I'm glad you said that.
They're everywhere. No, I mean that as a compliment.
Okay.
They know that. Big Blue Nation knows that.
And Ashley Judd will go home happy tonight. Georgia not so much. Frazier, another long 3. That's probably going to be the last shot of the game.
Boy, Brad, Georgia played well. They did Mark Fox's game plan was excellent. They did a really good job. But boy, it takes a lot. It is going to take a tremendous effort to beat Kentucky. They're that deep and that talented.
So a half second to go. They take out Nemi Jurisic because it's senior night, and he gets a standing ovation from the crowd that remains. Marcus Thornton coming out as well. So Mark Fox takes out his seniors. Their last time that they'll set foot on Stegeman Coliseum floor in a competitive game. And boy, they gave Kentucky as much competition as they wanted. But Kentucky remains perfect. It's now 17-0 in conference play. It's a perfect 30-0 to start the season. They win it 72-64. Sports Center coming up next. John Butcher-Gross and Jay Harris are along with you. Good night from Athens.
All right, guys, thank you very much. Georgia was on the way, and 32-32.